Hey all, a couple weeks ago I posted a picture of my new Quintana Roo SR6 road bike, and I've had a number of questions about what I like best about it, how I built it up, and how it's different than the SR5. So I thought I'd put together a quick little video to explain the key features and then show you a little bit about how I have it built up and what I like about the build. So I got this about 2 weeks ago, pretty easy to get it set up. I had an SR5 already, so it was easy to swap everything over and build it up the exact same way. A couple of changes here. Front cockpit's a little bit different. This has an integrated stem, and one of the best things about this is if you've ever had, with this bike all the cables are hidden, they go through the actual stem, and if you've ever had to adjust that before, you have to re-bleed the bike, draw the cables out. That's no fun. With these spacers, they're actually two pieces, so you can just raise it up, click the spacers together, put it back down. No need to re-bleed or rerun the cables or anything like that. Made setting it up and getting my measurements dialed in super easy. I could get basically the whole bike built and then fit it afterwards. I didn't have to fit it, rip it apart, build it, and then put it back together. So that was super helpful. This version of the SR6 versus the SR5 is much lighter. It's actually comparable with all the top bikes or all their top competitors, I guess. Depending on if they're reporting with paint on or off, whatever. Everybody tries to make the numbers look as good as they can, but in any metric, they've reduced the amount of carbon that they need to have with this, so it's extremely stiff but also extremely light. It's also set up so you can have the new Shimano junction box. If you want to run another SRAM components, you can, but the integrated Shimano junction box makes charging it, changing the shifting mode, all that stuff super easy as well. This comes with a T47 bottom bracket, which is going to eliminate creaking. A lot of the press fits that I've been riding in the past, especially when it's dry like it is out in Colorado, creak. And no one wants to be that person in a group ride with the creaky bottom bracket, and so the T47 completely eliminates that. Another great feature here is the tire clearance. They're able to basically make it so you can run whatever tire setup you want. You can run 28s or 30s without any rubbing issues, and they're able to do that without sacrificing any of the aero data. So that's a huge benefit. You can ride this, switch on to some gravel tires if you wanted to do more of a hybrid course or something like that. Just gives you a lot of options. So the SR6 also has the best real-world aero data for top-end road bikes, which means that when you test it with the actual bottles and bottle cages on, it's testing faster than any of the major competitors. Without them, it's also just as fast, but that's kind of one of the cool selling points, and something that not a lot of the competitors actually will publish data. A lot of the times they're publishing it a bare frame, no saddle, no cages, and QR tested with it completely built up, which is actually functional because you ride with the saddle on most of the time. So finally, one of my favorite features about this is QR does all their painting and decals in-house, so you can, as with the SR5 and the entire PR series, you can really customize the look that you want. So you can choose your color and choose your decals and get the exact scheme that you're going for. So for the build, I have it set up with Shimano Ultegra components. I'm not going to be racing this bike anytime soon, so having an Ultegra build is just fine with me. I've got Head Vanquish 4 wheels. Obviously, it's got disc brakes with the Shimano calipers and rotors. I race the GP, or I train with the GP5s, tubeless ready on this one, kind of my all-terrain tire of choice. Power meter I have is the Shimano Dura Ace power meter with 170mm crank lengths. And then finally I have the ISM PN 3.0 saddle, which is the same saddle I have on my TT bikes as well. So coming from Iowa, I actually learned how to ride on a TT bike, and I really didn't ride a road bike at all. You know, and where I was training before, I could do a 100-mile ride without getting 1,000 feet of gain. It was flat, straight, and it was impossible to get lost, which is not the case here in Castle Rock. But since I've come out to Colorado and spent a lot more time here, I've really enjoyed spending a lot more time on the roadie. The first real road bike that I spent any time riding was the SR5, and then just have been on this for just under a month now, and been almost riding exclusively on it since I've kind of stepped away and started the rebuilding process for the fall racing. And yeah, just really enjoy, you know, with all the roads here, it's constantly up and down, constant rollers, constant curves and all that. And I actually don't enjoy riding my TT bike here in Castle Rock near as much as I do with this. The SRsix is extremely light, definitely lighter than the SR5, and it's noticeable. When you go to step on the gas, you know, it's super stiff, and also it has the through axle, so it's there's really no flex. It's really responsive, and just makes climbing and descending a lot more fun. And I'm enjoying being able to be a little bit more cautious, or a little bit less cautious than I would be on my TT bike going in corners and things like that. So overall, I think spending a lot more time on the road bike is going to make me a better bike handler, and that's going to hopefully translate over into the time that I spend on my PR6. So thanks for tuning in again as I talked through the key features of the SR6, how I've got mine built up, what I like most about it. If I happen to miss something that you wanted to cover, make sure you leave it in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, until next time.